Okay, so welcome back, students. We are going to pick up from our last session where we looked at how we publish the drawing, and now we are going to look at how you access the published drawing and what you can do with the published drawing. All right, so this time around, we are going to open a different software called Autodesk Design Review. Or you can just go to where the file is and open it, and it will open in the program. So let's go and look for the file. So I know that the file was placed on my computer into a folder. So go to your G drive, just don't access the G drive through AutoCAD now, just go to the G drive itself directly. And on your G drive, people, you're going to be opening that file that was just published. So go to wherever it is, don't go to file and open, just go to your G drive, go to the icon for this computer and look for the G drive thing. And look for that file, which is now published, called 1-bedroom flat sheet layout, and Tuesday should be in the name. So if you notice, the icon doesn't look like an AutoCAD drawing. It's not. It is the AutoCAD drawing in a different format, DWFX. So double click on it and it will open it in a software called Autodesk Design Review. This is like Autodesk PDF program. What I have also done, and you will notice that it is now open, you have page 1 of 3, and if you click next, that's page 2 of 3, and if you click next, that's page 3 of 3. So you realize one file with 3 pages rather than 3 separate files with 1 page each. Cool? Let's go back to page 1. Now, you are going to need this software on your computer, but this software is a freeware. What does that mean?
You can download it free.
Download it free. And I've placed a link on Moodle. Let me show you where that link is. Let me show you where that link is on Moodle. So when you go to Moodle, there is a link on the page. Scroll down under Unit 2. You can just look, you don't have to do it now. When it's time for you to do it, then you know where to go. The software is already installed on these computers in here. People at home may have to download it and install it, or they can't move on to the next step. So I will pause the recording and allow persons to download it and install it. It's a small program. So this is the link. So you go to Unit 2, scroll down, and this link that says link to download Autodesk Design Review. Click on it, and it will launch another screen, another window in front. Don't just go ahead and click on set up Autodesk Design Review, because this is the Russian language one. And if you come over here, it's the Polish one. So before you do anything, make sure you choose English. And when you click on English, it will just start downloading on the machine. Right? The file is about 400 and something megabytes. Yes, Oswald, I see your hand raised.
Sir.
Yes.
When you just started and your cell must go into to my computer.
Yes.
Where is that thing came up? What the process? You know, you had left me there.
All right. Remember, we published the file on our machine, and we saved it somewhere.
Yes.
So you saved that
yes, I saved it somewhere.
Where did you save it?
I saved it at desktop.
Right. So it means that you need to go to your desktop and look for the file and double click on it.
Okay.
But maybe as well, you're not going to have it open up in this program. You probably open it up in another program that is compatible, but not to do the things that this program can do. So if you don't have Autodesk Design Review, then it won't open in this program. It will open it up in either Internet Explorer, or it might open it in another program called XPX Viewer.
Okay.
Right? This is why I've just shown you that you need to go to the website for Moodle and click on this link, download the software and install it. And when you finish installing and you open that file, this is the program that it will open it in. So I'm going to pause the recording and allow for maybe about 5 minutes for persons to download and install. All right, so now we are going to see how the software that is open called Autodesk Design Review with the file. We saw the 3 pages that we saw when we were publishing, displaying. Page 1 to 3, let's go back to the first page. That should show the site plan. Now this program is kind of similar to AutoCAD in the way how you operate. You can pan just like AutoCAD, but you don't have to click the wheel to pan. You can even left click and drag to pan. You can scroll the wheel same way, forward to zoom in, scroll the wheel backwards, right? You can use some of these zoom options up here. So you have the zoom rectangle, which is like zoom window in AutoCAD. You click and you make a little window and it zoom up that area, right? You can use the pan icon if you don't want to, but that's not necessary because you can just pan without doing that. You can zoom in and out by dragging up and down, not left and right, up and down. You can go back to all position. You can use these different wheel options, and you can just scroll out if you wish. All right, you have shortcuts for some of these too. So zoom to fit, you could just press F and it just the same as zoom out, right? For zoom fit. Now, let's imagine that and to go back to your regular screen, if you want to select, you would use this icon over here. Or you can just press letter A for select, right? So you have a pointer now so you can pick and click on the icons up here. Now, this is now page 1. This black line here represents the boundary. And this is the building, the roof. Let's say for argument's sake, there's a situation where you did not adhere to the restriction that was on the title. You know, on the title, when you buy a piece of property, the title will now allow you to, well, it will tell you on the title what your allowable distance from the fence and from the center of the road. So parish council probably have this now. So what I've done here is to output the file in a format that you can electronically email it to parish council and they can perform markups. The same very thing they are doing right now by hand, by using a pencil or a pen. They can use this software to do it. It's a review software. It's called Autodesk Design Review. So we can do every single thing by using the tool rather than using hand. So you have up top here a tab called Markup and Measure. And under that, you have several panels. You have a formatting panel, you have a call-out panel, draw panel, measure panel, and a stamp and symbol panel. So these are different tools that we can use now to perform markups. And whenever those markups are created, they will display in this screen here. Just in case you're on a thumbnail view here, seeing the different mini screen, you need to be on the markup tab down here, and it should say none available because we have not created any markups as yet. So we're going to use these different tools up here to add some markups. So I'm going to zoom in right here. All right, let's do another one first, and I'll come back to the measure one. I'm going to go to the last page. I'm going to go to the last page. I'm going to pretend as if the person did not put the correct stiffener here. And do we know why a T stiffener was not placed here? Anybody know? Why is it that a T stiffener was not placed here?
If a doorway will be there also.
You look on page 2, it will tell you. So we know we can't have a T stiffener here because it will go inside the door opening. So let's imagine that maybe the person had done the drawing and put a T stiffener there. Don't you think the person at parish council would have something to say about that? So let's see. They are now ready to make that comment to say that the stiffener was incorrectly placed, right? So you could now go up here on the call out panel and you could choose one of these call outs. I'll use the rectangular one. You could press Ctrl 2 and you just make a little rectangle around it, cloud looking feature. And then you could place the text box where you want to type in by clicking, and then you start typing. So we could now say stiffener, S-T-I-F-F-E-N-E-R, incorrectly placed. Good. And if you wanted that in more than one line, you could you could also press enter when you reach there and it go down. And when you finish typing, you just click outside. Now, this is something that can be formatted after, right? So they are basically reviewing the drawing and making comments about what you have done. If I want, I can change the font size. I can change the color of the font. I can change the color of the callout boundary by, if I want to change the color of the text and the size, just double click in there to edit and block it like you use in Microsoft Word. And on your formatting panel, then you have the point size is default to 10, like a font size, and I could go up to 12 if I wish. And now that it gets a little deeper, I could also resize the box to get it back in 2 lines if I want. You can resize the box, you know. And if you want the text to be a different color, likewise, you can double click and block it. And let me take off this extra space. All right, and change the color of the text to whatever color. So you have it in blue there. I could even change the color of the border. Join us over here. You could change the color of the border over here to any color you want. There it is. Right? So you could change it to any color at all. So the formatting is kind of straightforward. So as we add the call out, it logs it over here in markups. So that's one markup so far. So stiffener incorrectly placed. Let's see if we could add another call out or something else. We could actually use this one to write or to draw. This is like, you know, you're marking up something. Foolishness, right? Anyway, you can get rid of it as well. It's an overlay, so it's not disturbing your drawing. So we can just go and click on the erase option, which is to, or no, just press escape first, and then you can select it, and then just delete it to erase it, right? So it's gone, and it's no longer there. You soon see it disappear from over there. I think I have another little one, see it here? So I have to erase that, good. Now, what about, and you could type as well. So let's see how we could do this. What I'm gonna do now is to go to another sheet, like the first page. And suppose we had a situation now where the parish council want to check to see if you have actually breached the covenant to go too close to the boundary. They could actually measure. So maybe you put a bigger distance than it is. Suppose you say that this is 3,000, because you know that that's the distance you should be away from the fence. Parish council can check now to see if it's really 3,000. So they could come up here and use the measure tool now. We just use call out tool, and I show you could draw lines and you could draw a rectangle, whatever shape you want. You could type text. This is the measure tool now. I could come here and click. G would have been your shortcut for that. And it has O snap options. I could click at the corner there to grip it and come here. Once it is perpendicular, notice you can click anywhere, but it snaps in a perpendicular position. So we know that it is perpendicular to the fence to place it. And it's telling you that the distance is close to, it's less than 10 feet, because 10 feet would be about 3,000. So maybe you say it was 3,100, and you know it's not that. But because you know that parish council would have a problem, they tell some lie. So parish council will check it now and see. And just in case you're wondering if this thing is accurate, let's measure a distance that already exists to see if it is the same. So I'm going to use another distance somewhere on a different page. I will go to page 2. All right. So do I have a distance I can double check? I can double check this distance. So I'm going to go again, measure, and I can click here and look there, 1,500, same distance. Did you know that I could even measure accumulated distance? So I can get perimeter if I want by using this one. W would have been your shortcut, polyline. So if I use the polyline, I can snap endpoint to endpoint, and notice it's adding the distance, going around. So they could check the perimeter of your building, right around. And when you get back to the point that that's it, and you press escape to cancel. Notice it's telling me the distance is 50,000 millimeters. Let's see if that is correct. This distance is 15,000. So that means 15,000 and 15,000 will be 30,000, because this plus this would equal the same 15,000. and then this now is 10,000. So 10,000 and 10,000 would have been 20,000. So it means that the perimeter is 50,000. So we agree, it's correct. And it's telling me over here, everything that you do, as you click on it, it takes you there. You click on it, it takes you there. You click on it, it takes you there. It doesn't matter which sheet it's on. It will jump directly to that sheet. Yes? What if I want to get the area of the building? Because parish council will have to charge you now. They will have to charge you money to approve the drawing. And that money is per square foot or per square meter, whatever rate they have. So I could check the area. So there's an option for area. You would be a shortcut for that. So all I would do is pretend as if I'm doing the same thing like the perimeter and pick the corners going right around, outside corner, and it's highlighting the area that I am now picking right around the building. Let me press escape. Now, let's see what unit it is. Right now, it is at some unit that I don't even know, but we can get it to show it in any unit we want. So maybe you do the drawing in millimeter, but you want to get the square area in square feet or square meter. Let's see. Let's go with square meter first. Now, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 122 million square units. That's millimeter square or whatever the unit is. We are going to get it to meter square. If you divide by a million, then you will know how much meter square it will be. So that means it should be about 122 meters square, approximately. Okay, so how do I get it to show the square unit that I want? All I need to do is go to the down arrow where you have measure and choose 2D units and scale. Then no, all I need to do is choose, it says drawing units, units of drawing from which the sheet was published. So we know that this was published in millimeter units, right? So I'm going to choose millimeter. That's the unit it was drawn in. It was published in millimeter. Then now, it wants to know the unit you want to display it in. So I'm going to say, okay, I want to display it in meters. So it can give me meter square. That's going to give me millimeter square. And then now, down here, the precision is, right now it's giving me automatic. If I say no decimal place, that means 0. Then it will round off to about 122 meters square. Okay. Then now it also wants to know what scale the drawing was printed at. So this one was done at 1 in 50. Remember, this is the floor plan. So this drawing was scaled down to 1 in 50. So I'm choosing 1 in 50 from this. Then click OK. Lo and behold, what is it now saying? 122 meters square. And if I want it in feet, square feet, I can get it in square feet too. All I have to do is just go back in there and choose whatever unit I want. So if parish council have a rate per square foot, they can work out the square footage of the building. If they have a rate per meter square, they can do it. They don't have to go down and have to calculate and go calculate. Every single thing they are doing right now by hand can be done in this software. So let's see if I want meter, feet square, square feet. All I have to do is just change the unit I want to output it in. So if I choose feet here and click OK, see, it's now telling me that it's approximately 1,313 square foot of area. Are we there? Corey? You there? All right, good. So we now have the square footage of it. So that's another information that we could pull out. I'm just going down some of the tools and show you the possibility. Then now, maybe they had so much problem with the drawing that they say, no, sir, I cannot give this person approval for this thing. So you can come and stamp it and say, you know what, I am going to reject this drawing. That's just like they get the rubber stamp down there and stamp the thing. Or, let me get rid of that one. It could be that maybe the only error that was on the drawing was just this little minor error. all the person needs to do is just go and fix it and come back. So that's a minor error. So I would say, okay, based on what I've seen, I'm okay. The breach was not there in the sense that, you know, maybe it was that distance. So we are all right with that. Just minor correction. So what I'm going to do is to give the person a preliminary approval. So I will put approve and click right here, and I can even update it to say I'm going to give a preliminary approval, right? Then no, this is basically telling me who approved it, so you know which building officer would have been working on the drawing, the date and the time. This is the time now that we are in. So the time when you stamp it, it actually dates it. And if it's not you who is person who is logged on at the computer, you can put your name here as the building officer, right? This is there because I am actually the user of this computer. So when I log in, F and this is there. So when you do it on your machine, your name would be there, or whoever the user is. So you could give preliminary approval. What this is saying, this preliminary approval is saying that, okay, remember, you know, the file that you sent to Parish Council would have been a soft copy file. You did not pay money to plot the drawing and blueprint it. What you want to do is to get all of that work happening back and forth and save the environment by not cutting down trees to create extra paper to print. So we are able to do it in a more efficient way. And the vision for Jamaica, anybody know the 2030 vision? Jamaica has a 2030 vision. And the 2030 vision is saying that in the year 2030, Jamaica will be a first world country.
Yeah.
That's the summary.
A place to live, work, raise family, and do business.
Isn't that a first world country?
Yes.
Yes. So we are saying that, and this vision was written, this vision was written from about the year 2000. And we are saying we are in the year 2020 now. 20 years. And we have 10 years. So what we are saying, all of a sudden, in the year 2030, Jamaica is going to finally wake up on that morning, and Jamaica will be our first world country. Everything will change. The people's attitude, we can barely control COVID right now. That we almost have to go penalize people for not wearing masks. But but don't worry, Jamaica, in the year 2030, the trouble that we're giving right now, we are going to end all of that trouble. This is like heaven is going to come down on earth, and Jamaica will finally get the picture and understand that Jamaica will be our first world country. That means the crime is going to stop. Police now have much work to do. We're not going to have the whole heap of things happening in Jamaica that will prevent us from. Jamaica will just finally wake up and just be our first world country. Because, and don't underestimate us. What we can do in 20 years, we'll do it in 10. Right? I'm very optimistic. Right? So, we are saying, but all I'm saying is that this that I am teaching you right now must be a part of the vision for Jamaica to be a first world country. Because we cannot be in the year 2030 still doing third world operations in the year 2030. So I am saying that something like this has to be a part of the vision. We should be able to submit our drawings electronically and have Parish Council mark it up, send it back, and you can save the environment because you're not printing paper every minute for them to mark it up and send it back to you to fix it, and you fix it again and send and they find another problem and then mark it up again. You know how much money you would have saved by doing this? So let's see what will happen now. Parish Council will just click the save button. Save all the changes. Then now, I'm going to close the file. See all the things, you know. This is like a summary. Every single thing that they have done is logged over here. See? Their report is produced same time. Everything that they have done, a summary of it is there. So all I'm going to do is close the file. Let's close the program too. All right. So it means therefore that this very file, Parish Council will just email it back now to the person who submitted it. Right? So I'm saying that you could just email it to them. You would pay your deposit because remember you have to pay for the approval. You can't just get it free. So they can decide, say, all right, whether you pay 20% deposit or 50% deposit. And then no, remember they have given you permission to go and fix that little minor error. It's a preliminary approval you have gotten. So you're going to fix it this time. And then you're going to finally hard copy print. Yes? And then you can blueprint it, because remember you plot it first on the vellum in block, and then you go and get it blueprint, because blueprint is cheaper than plotting. The cost that you pay to plot the drawing, it might cost you about 1/5 of that cost or 1/3 of that cost to plot it. So it's cheaper to produce several sets of drawing by using Blueprint than to plot several things. It's going to cost you too much money. So now is the first time you're plotting, and then now you would carry the hard copy down to Parish Council, and they will now take the physical rubber stamp and stamp it and give you final approval and tell you so you can go build now. You know that you would have only spent the money once to plot and Blueprint because you're in an environment you can back and forth. All right, so let me show you what would have happened now that Parish Council would have sent you this file, and as a draftsman, because the person who submits the drawing to Parish Council is not the draftsman, it would have been the owner. And you have to carry it along with 2 other documents. You know, the title, a copy of the title plus a copy of the surveyor's report would have to be submitted along with the drawing so they can double check to see if you breached the covenant, meaning you're gone closer to the road than you should have, or you probably put up a structure on the building that you're not allowed to, and all kind of things. The covenant will be on the title that will tell you what is allowed and what is not allowed. So let me show you now what will happen in AutoCAD if you, the person now, carry back the file to the draftsman and say, Parish Council asks for revision to be done. So here is the file, or you would email the file to the person. What I'm going to do, I'm going to now show you, even if this file is closed. Yes, let me save it first. And even if a blank file is open, you can take that DWFX file and open it in AutoCAD, and it will show you those revisions that were made on the drawing. How do I do it? You would have to go to the View tab on the ribbon. You don't open it like how you open a drawing, because that's not a drawing file. It's a DWFX file. So you would go to the View tab on the ribbon, and then there's a panel called Palettes. At the top right-hand corner of it, there's an icon called Markup Set Manager. When you click on that icon, it launches this palette that allows you to come here and open the DWFX file. So you go here and you find the file. Let me open the correct one because I have more than one. This is the Tuesday one. Good, one that I just did. And then I'm going to open it. What do you notice? It is showing me the 3 sheets. And when I click on the little plus beside it, it is showing me the markups that Parish Council put on it. So I click on this plus, I see the markups, and I click on this plus, I see the markups. You remember this markup? Stiffener incorrectly placed. So when I'm looking at this now, I see that Parish Council have a problem with the stiffener. What do I need to do as a draftsman? As a draftsman, you would double click on this, the comment itself. Click, click. Now what it will do, it will open the drawing. You look at it, you realize? It's the entire drawing, you know. See, it still have the site plan. See, it have this one. But on this sheet, I noticed that Parish Council have a problem. So what do I need to do as a draftsman now? I need to go into the drawing and fix the thing. Take out the L stiffener. Take out the T stiffener that they would have had a problem with. Remember, we just said that for argument's sake. So we take out the T stiffener and then put in the correct stiffener. Good. So now that you put in the correct stiffener, you would need to go back to the sheet, right? Go back to the sheet where it is. This one, right? And then come back here, you're going to give your status of that sheet. So you come down here now where it says markup status. You say, all right, done. That means you fix that problem. If it is that you didn't fix the problem right away, there are other options. So you might say, all right, maybe you have a question to ask Parish Council. So you just do that so that if you save the drawing and open it back tomorrow, you know that you didn't complete the process. You plan to call them because you have a question. Or maybe you plan to go back and review it another day. What you're doing is giving the status of the work. But ultimately, you would have gone here and choose done. That means you would have fixed the problem and that's sorted out. So that means all of these, you would have to do the same thing too. Not true. You would go to each of them, fix the problem, but ultimately you would just come here now and just click done. So I'm just pretending as if I've completed the process and fixed everything. even the stamp and all those things, you'd have to say done for them too, because it's not really a comment, but you would have seen that they had rejected or approved the drawing. So I'm just going through and just double click on each of them and say, just select them and just choose the status to say done. That means I've addressed all the problems. Good? Then now that I've done everything, I just click X and everything gone. That means my drawing is now updated. I would have fixed all the problem. What would I need to do now? Don't I need to republish the drawing again? So I would have to publish the drawing again and possibly send it back to Parish Council if you're not certain. And they will check it again and they will say, all right, good to go now. You can print. You follow? All of this was happening over an electronic environment. We never had to plot the drawing. You follow? So that's the beauty of using a software like this. Almost every single thing we could have done by hand and more can be done in the software. It's a very useful tool. So it goes beyond what Adobe Acrobat can do. Because Autodesk at one point in time was trying to partner with Adobe to see if they could get them to put in these tools so they can do the markup. Because Adobe can do a little markup, but they don't have as many features like this. So Autodesk created their own thing so that they could use that program to do their markups. It's a review tool. It's not only used for Parish Council, even within drawing office, you might have a supervisor that will check the drawing, review it, and send it back to you as the draftsman to make correction, and do it again and send it back to the supervisor. You follow what I'm saying? So it's not just necessarily Parish Council, but I'm just showing you the possibility of something like this in an environment like a Parish Council in Jamaica. This would be a worthwhile tool. And I've actually worked on a proposal. I need to push through that proposal to ensure that the Parish Council start implementing something like this out there in the system. It's done out there, but it's unofficial. And I can tell you why. It's students like you that I've taught over the years start working at Parish Council, know about it, and their colleagues basically send things to them. But it's not an established position of the council. We want it to be an established position so that it will be a part of our 2030 vision, so that we don't have this inefficient process that works now. Because we carry this big drawing down here now, and they have to roll out this paper and mark. And when you look this whole heap of paper, they could be working in a paperless environment. A time like now in COVID, where you can't even go nowhere. You can send your drawing same way for approval, right? So that's how that part works. Now, so we have just looked at how you publish the drawing and how you mark up the drawing, as well as how you review the drawing after it has been marked up, how you do the revision. All right? We have one final thing to do now to the drawing, and that is to look at how you e-transmit it. And this will be the last thing on your assessment for the next assessment. So all the things that we have done up to this point is a part of the assessment. But the final thing that you'll be doing after you have done the markups, so you know it's published under your markup, and then now it's time to e-transmit it. Guess what is e-transmit? You're zipping up the file directly in AutoCAD. You don't have to go outside of AutoCAD to do it anymore. You do it directly in here. So let's see how that is done. We're going through the process now of e-transmitting the drawing. How is that done? You go to your application menu, and then you come down to publish, and there's an option that says e-transmit. Let's read that comment below e-transmit. It says you're actually creating a package of drawing files and their dependencies. That's a very important statement right there. And their dependencies. Can you tell me a possible dependence that would be with this file? Anybody? What? That means something that the file is depending on to do the thing right. I made mention of something earlier. Something. If you don't have it, then you don't show the thing properly. Can anybody tell me? Online? The file is depending on something in order to do something. There are several things, but I'm just asking for one. Any dependency anybody know of? The drawing file have a dependency. So we're trying to create a package, zip up with all the things that are relevant to this drawing, to send off to somebody, and when they open it, it should look the same way it looked on your computer, because they have all the settings, everything. Partially telling you what the answer is. So what is a possible dependency you think this file could have? Anybody? I guess the time that I'm waiting is telling me that no, you don't know. All right, remember I would have told you about the plot style? How you create the plot style on this machine, and you go on some other machine. Isn't it depending on the plot style to display the thing how it's supposed to be? So that's a dependency. All right, let's click on it now. So we're going to click on e-transmit. The first thing it's going to ask you is to save the file. You know why it's asking that? Because if you are going to zip up something to send to somebody, don't you want up to the latest changes to be included in that zip? So yes, we would have to save the changes. So I'm clicking yes. All right. So now we are going to get a chance to look at the dependencies. So we know that the file itself, the DWG file, is that's the main file. But there are dependencies that the main file have. When I click on this one, I'm seeing other files, or when I click here, what is this thing? Anybody know? What is this thing? Isn't this the plot style? So this is saying that
the plot style.
there, the plot style. So what the software did was to look for the folder that it was saved in. Remember that plot style folder that I showed you? It actually go in and reach out and find it and grab it and drop it here so that it knows that's a part of the file. What about this one? When I click on this one, what are these two things? What are these two things?
When we program the settings for that.
The plot configuration. Remember when we read the page setup?
Yeah.
So it remember all the settings as it relates to the plotter. Yes? All of those things are captured. Last week, when I was showing you how to output it from DWG to PDF, it remembered those settings because we did that in the model view. And then when we went to the layout view, we just configured the page setup that had the paper size and the plot style and the extent and its center, the print, and all them things. But what is missing? Something is missing. What is not there? What is not there? Something is missing. We just published something. Which file is not there? The published file is not there. You realize your DWFX file is not there? That means it is not a dependent. It's not a dependency because it's not depending on it to do what is happening here. So how do I get that file to be a part of this package? Because I'm trying to zip up a folder. Add file, very good. So when we come down here, you notice we have the capability to add any other file. So if it is that I had done up a PowerPoint presentation that I want to send along with the drawing, or I have a Word file with a report, or an Excel spreadsheet file with something, I could now come here, click on add file, and I'm going to be browsing to that DWFX file. Let me choose the Tuesday one. So this one, I'm going to be adding the DWFX file to the package. So I'm going to click open and notice it creates another category and add it underneath it. So I am combining all of these files into one package and send it off to the person who needs it. So if I want, I can put a little, I could put a little note or statement. Like when you're sending a fax and you want to put a little instruction or a little note with it, but it's not mandatory. You don't have to type anything. But this could be some instruction that you might want to send relating to the e-transmitter that you're doing. So all I'm going to click is OK. And as soon as I click OK, what is it asking me to do? To save the file as a zip. Look at the file extension, .zip. Same place in the software, I am able to zip the folder up. Now this is where in the assignment I tell you what to call the folder. Right? So you will be renaming that, but I will leave it with the name that I have here. So I'm going to be zipping it up. So it was done with my previous class. That is why I'm seeing this zip file. So I'm just going to click save. What is it now doing? It has compiled everything into a package. So I'm going to be looking for that file now to see what it looks like. It's not a folder anymore, it's a file. When a folder is zipped, it turns it into a file. It's no longer a folder because we know that folders don't carry file extension. So here it is. that this one was just done a while ago. 1-bedroom flat sheet layout exercise 2, Tuesday, standard dot. Let me show the file extension. So I'll view this in list format. View in, where is the option for list? All right, let me just right click on this. I don't have time to find that. View it in list. All right, good. So you notice that this one has a file extension. Dot ZIP. This is a folder. Are you seeing any file extension on the folder? Nope. A folder does not carry a file extension. Only files. So your drawing file have a .dwg. Your backup file has a .bak. And if you're not seeing your file extension on your machine, then you could go to View on this ribbon and then turn on this that says File Name Extension. If you uncheck that, then the file extension disappears. The only file extension that will always be there is your backup file. The backup file extension is always there because it's an unknown file extension. So there's no program that recognizes on the machine. So it will always show. So if you want to turn back this file into an AutoCAD file, you just change the BAK by renaming this, and you put DWG and automatically just turn it back into an AutoCAD file. So if you lose your file, you can retrieve it from the backup file. All right, now, so we have just created this thing, this one. It's not a folder, it's now a zip file. Now what do I need to do? I am the lecturer now, ready to mark your work. So this is what I would do now that I've gotten this from you, the zipped up folder. I would double click on it, right? And because I have WinRAR on my machine, that is why the icon looks like a stack of books. If it was that I did not have WinRAR, then you would get a folder that looks like this. You would go, the folder it would look like this, like a yellow folder with a zipper on it to tell that it's a zipped up file. All right, but because I have WinRAR, then this shows up. All right, so what am I now seeing? I'm going to unzip it. I'm going to just choose extract to, and it will extract in the same location where it was created. So, okay. All right, so this is the folder now. Same thing that was zipped up. When I open the folder, let's review what is in the folder. Let's review what is in the folder. What is this? Do we know what this is? Which of the file is this one? The published file that was marked up, right? If you double click on it, you will notice it opened back in the same program and it will still have the markups on it. See here? Still have the markups, right? On all the pages. Still have the markups. All the things we made comment about. So that's one file. What's this one? That's the drawing file. And what do you think this one is?
Backup.
Nope.
Is that the backup?
This is the markup file. This one is generated by the software. It's a text file. It's a notepad file. Let's examine it. When I open that file, guess what it says? That file is a notepad file. It's the name of the file here. It's a transmittal report. So because you have e-transmit the file, it generates a report. So I can tell if you use the e-transmit or if you had gone ahead and right click and create your own zip thing. Because this is a part of the process. I expect you to e-transmit it. Because if you go and just zip up the folder, it is not going to grab those different settings, the plot style and the plot configuration and those things. It won't be included. You will only have your drawing file, your backup file, or your DWFX file. Where are your plot styles and your plot configuration? They're not there. So what this did, it actually generated a report and say that this was created by AutoCAD e-transmit on Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020 at what time of the day? 5:51 p.m. And these are the things that are included. So this one is a drawing file. It have the DW, well, this is a root file. It have the plot style. It have all the plot configuration. It gives me a list of all the things that were included in it. It generates a report. So I can just look at all these things and I give you full marks for that part of the criteria that I'm marking. So this is a report that is necessary to tell me whether or not you have done the e-transmission. But this one, is what is in here. This one and this one, those are the plot style. not the plot style, sorry, the plot configuration. Yes, and this one would have been your plot style. So all the settings. So if I am on a different machine now, all I would need to do is just right click and copy this file. And when I go into the print option on my computer, I will just come down here, click on this and go to save as. And if it wasn't here, just right click and paste it and it will be a part of it. Because when you open that drawing now, then you would now see the configurations that the plot style will have. See why we need that plot style? Because if you just email the file to somebody, it's going to be incomplete. They wouldn't have the plot style, they wouldn't have the plot configuration, and all those different things. So when you e-transmit it, it will automatically create a package of plot drawing or sheet set with their dependencies, and we can see what those dependencies were. Everybody get that? Do we understand how to publish the drawing, how to mark it up, how to e-transmit it? Yes or no? Not a soul answering. That means it's not clear. Well, that means you need to watch the recording, which I'm about to stop now.